If you feel like you are doing everything right with your skincare routine, but your skin feels like it's tired, dull, just like you're not aging well, it's not what you wish it would look like, this video is for you. I want to break down the 4 biggest skincare concerns that I see time and time again, what to do about them, and how they're all kind of connected so you can determine the root issue. And so that way we're not treating symptoms, we're treating the cause and the root issue. So make sure you stay to the end to see how it all ties together and to make sure you're doing the right thing for your skin. If you're new here, I'm Jordan Harper, board certified nurse practitioner, founder and CEO of Barefaced, a results-driven skincare brand all around the ethos, less but better. I release a new video every single week, breaking down the behind the scenes of what it's like to run a business and skincare tips. So if you find that helpful, if that's something you're interested in, don't forget to like and subscribe. So today I'm gonna cover the 4 skin concerns that I see over and over again. And at the end, I'm gonna explain how they all tie together so that you make sure you're treating the root issue and not just symptom management. So make sure you stay to the end to see how it all ties together and to make sure you're doing the right thing for your skin. Okay, so what are they? Like, what are the 4 concerns? Okay, they are sensitivity, discoloration, dark circles, and acne scarring. So what I want to start with is sensitivity, because a lot of times what this actually is inflammation, and inflammation can actually lead to all these other issues. So let's talk about what it is and then how to prevent it. It might not even be full-blown inflammation. It might be low-grade chronic inflammation, which is actually a huge problem. And if you're a person that has chronically dry skin, you might have chronic low-grade inflammation on the skin, and this is actually going to cause premature skin aging and faster aging. So let's address it so that you're not gonna age faster than you need to, because we're all trying to look and feel our best. Okay, so how do you know if your skin is overly sensitive or inflamed? If it's red, irritated, stinging, burning with products, overall like reactiveness to products, breakouts that just like won't heal, your skin just kind of looks dull, tired. These are all small signs of sensitivity and inflammation on the skin. The problem with this is that you're gonna be like, wait, I have these concerns. This is actually really common, and what happens over time when it becomes chronic, that's the issue, right? Because inflammation can actually be positive, especially if you are starting a new skincare routine and you're using retinoids for the first time, or if you're getting an office treatment and you're wanting to cause an inflammatory response to boost collagen. Well, chronic inflammation is different. So we want acute inflammation to have these surges of collagen. Chronic inflammation, we do not want. So it's funny because it's the balancing act. And what can happen is if you have chronic inflammation, obviously it's terrible on the body. What you see on the skin, increased oxidative stress. You're gonna see weakened skin barrier, and you're gonna see a breakdown of collagen and elastin. And so this is all going to lead to increased aging of the skin. The biggest things I would say that cause this are, one, like not wearing daily SPF, because UV exposure is gonna cause collagen degradation. And it's gonna defeat and make all the other products that you use pointless if you're not using a daily SPF. And it's gonna compromise your skin barrier. So that's one reason, not using adequate sun protection on a daily standpoint. Over exfoliating, over using harsh actives. So if you are using, for example, please hold. For example, we have toning pads. These are a gentle daily exfoliant. These are formulated to use for the majority of skin types daily. We always recommend starting 3 times a week. If your skin feels good, use them from there. If it feels dry, sensitive, basically like don't increase the daily use, you listen to your skin. But exfoliation, especially if you're using a higher percentage, can actually be really irritating. And healthy skin is the balance between exfoliation and hydration. And you wanna be properly hydrating and properly exfoliating. So if you're using a gentle exfoliant that you can tolerate every day, that's fine. But you don't wanna use a deeper exfoliant. And when you do that, people get a little bit addicted to the way the skin looks when it's freshly exfoliated. We have a product called polishing pads. They're a deeper exfoliant. On the face, you only use them like 1 to 2 times a week. But I'm telling you, like my mom is a perfect example. Like she wants to use them 5 days a week, because it's like you kind of get addicted to like how the skin looks so glowy and fresh, but over time that's over exfoliating and it's damaging the skin. So that can lead to chronic inflammation, which is going to wreak havoc in so many other areas. This is why this is the first concern I wanted to cover, because this affects so many aspects of the skin that you probably don't even know it's the root cause, and you could be treating something else when it's actually like an inflammatory thing that needs to be treated first and foremost. Another thing that can cause this inflammation is using too many actives at once. Now, here's the thing, and I mentioned earlier, like acute versus chronic. We want the skin to respond to skincare. Your routine should do 4 things: protect, prevent, repair, and correct. Now, if you're using a routine that's doing that, you should be seeing changes in your skin. And especially if you are new at your routine, like, you're gonna notice changes. Like, at first your skin might feel more dry. You might notice purging, which is getting all the gunk that was gonna come out eventually, all coming out at once. You're gonna notice maybe like some sensitivity. That is normal. Retinoids typically cause some sort of dryness, some sort of sensitivity, some sort of like irritation at some point when you start them. I do recommend, if you're new to retinoids, try the rule of 3s, which is where you integrate them using 1 month every 3rd night, the 2nd month every other night, the 3rd month you bump up to every night. So there are tips and tricks to like gradually introduce products, but I am not talking about when you start a new routine or when you start new products. I am talking about you've been using these products and you've been using this routine, but you're still noticing like your skin just feels off. That's what I'm talking about. I personally will be like disappointed if someone was like, oh yeah, I'm using a Barefaced routine, and they're not seeing like any type of change or response in the skin. Like, that is a problem. That's like working out and never feeling sore. Like, I don't know, I don't think you're gonna see changes in your body. Same thing goes with the skin. So like, when you are introducing a new routine, that's a different story, and that's more of like getting the skin. These are anticipated versus adverse reactions. Now, if you are using a retinoid consistently and your skin always feels dry, it always feels sensitive after 6 to 8 weeks of consistent usage, that's a different scenario, and that to me tells me that you have probably low-grade inflammation and that you need to change up your retinoid. So inflammation is a big deal, but it has small little symptoms that can become full-fledged over time, but it's good to look out for. So chronic dryness, sensitivity, stinging, redness, reactiveness, just acne that like won't heal, and acne scarring that won't heal. So think about it like if your skin is feeling constantly like reactive, tight, irritated, red, that is your skin like asking for calmness. It's asking for peace, and we can do that. You can strip back your routine. It's actually really easy to do this. So it doesn't want more treatments. You've got to like reset at this point. So you do this with gentle products. We have a product called Overachiever that I love to help strengthen the skin barrier. And you just basically cut back your entire routine, all gentle products. You can use Overachiever twice a day. Moisturizer, obviously you need an SPF. Depending on how much damage that you have on your skin, that can take 1 week, that can take 2 months. And you do that until your skin feels normal, and then you gradually reintroduce products to build out your routine again. Second concern is discoloration. And actually, like, discoloration, uneven skin tone is what makes the skin look aged. People think it's wrinkles. No, it's discoloration. So what do I mean by that? Sunspots, acne marks that won't heal, melasma, any type of like sun-induced pigmentation, and then like dullness that just like won't brighten. Overall, the uneven skin tone, it makes you just look tired. Now, the thing is that if you have inflammation on the skin, this is going to make all of that worse. So this is why I went over inflammation first, because you've got to target that, because it's a trickle effect, right? And so if there's inflammation, it's going to make all the discoloration worse, especially if you have melasma. If you have inflammation on the skin, that's why you have to be really careful with like office treatments if you have melasma, because I talked about how we want inflammation with an office treatment, but you don't want it if you have melasma, because it's going to make the skin produce collagen, but it's also going to make the skin produce pigment. It's all like, it's a balancing act, okay? So the thing that we have to think about with any type of discoloration is like texture and pigment inhibitors, pigment correctors, and boosting cellular turnover. So there's the core 4 in skincare: an exfoliant, a retinoid, a vitamin C, and an SPF. This is like your foundation. This is what gets the skin functioning optimally. From there, you build your routine. You're not gonna be able to effectively treat discoloration if your skin is not functioning optimally. So don't even invest in a brightening serum until you're using the core 4, because otherwise you're gonna be like underwhelmed with the results. You have to get the skin functioning optimally, and then you build your routine from there. Then you add in treatments like a brightening treatment, a deeper exfoliation. These are things that are gonna help target the melanin pathway and target pigment at different levels. Now, if you have severe melasma and like pretty significant melasma, you are gonna probably want to and benefit from a hydroquinone, which is prescription strength. It's a really powerful product and it's really impactful, but it does require medical management. for that very reason, because there's like on and off cycles. But brightening and evening the skin tone can really only happen once your skin is healthy and functioning optimally. So you've got to reduce the inflammation, and you've got to be utilizing the core 4 so you get the skin to function optimally, so it then responds to the treatments that you're doing on top of that. Okay, the third concern is dark circles. Now there's really like 4 causes of dark circles, and the crazy thing is that typically people who have dark circles have 2 of the 4. Okay, so that means there's not gonna be one treatment that can do everything for you. So what does that mean? There is pigment, and you can do something called a pinch test. You can get your eye and you can pinch up, and if you're seeing the dark circle go, like if you're still seeing the dark circle as you pinch, that means the skin is actually pigmented darker. That's gonna be a different treatment than you're gonna use if you pinch and the dark circle goes away. That is vascular. So you've got pigment, vascular, structural, and then you've got like genetics and like allergens, right? So the pigment and vascular are pretty, I wouldn't say easy to treat, but like what's happening is that if you have pigmentation, then you're gonna wanna treat that with like a vitamin C. You're gonna wanna make sure you're boosting cellular turnover, so you're using a retinoid to that area. And then you can use a pigment corrector to that area as well, because you're targeting the skin. Now, if you're targeting vascularity, that's a different issue, because that means that the skin around the eye is thin and you're seeing the muscle underneath and the vessels underneath. You want to be using a retinoid to boost your cellular turnover to thicken that skin. You can also look into like office treatments, because you can use things like microneedling and lasers around the eye area to improve the skin quality and thicken the skin, so you're not seeing the vascularity and the muscle underneath. Now, let's talk about the structural versus the like genetic component there. I live in Knoxville, Tennessee, and it is the allergy capital of like the United States and possibly the world. This is a huge contributor to dark circles that I think people are not potentially thinking of, and they're just thinking, oh, I need like a skincare product. No, if you've got like allergens, or if you've got lymphatic fluid that's like sitting here, and if you're not addressing the allergens would be the biggest thing really. If you're not addressing like the allergen that is causing the dark circle, there's no skincare that's gonna treat that. So that's where I would recommend going to truly like an allergist, getting these checks done, because there's no skincare that's gonna help if an allergen is causing the dark circles. Now, structural is more when like there's volume loss or hollowing that is causing like a shadow that's making it look like dark and hollowed out. And that treatment is typically more like a filler, surgery potentially, where you would get like a lower blepharoplasty. So those are more, I would say, invasive treatments. I am seeing a lot of people get like PRP under the eye area. That's fine. That's fine for the skin. That's not going to do anything for volume loss. So I like actually PRP. I shouldn't have done like this. I like PRP for skin quality and improving skin quality, but I don't love it for volume restoration. So it's just having a realistic expectation of what PRP can actually do for the skin. Volume loss, to make, like if you look hollowed out, filler, you gotta go to someone good. And you gotta make sure the skin quality is good. And you gotta make sure they're gonna use the right filler, because I've had tear trough filler several times. I just got it done again. I said I wasn't gonna do it, but I like my injector and she convinced me, and actually I'm really glad, because look at that. I had hollowing, but what happened is I had it filler done 8 years ago in my tear trough, and it started to like just pull up, so I had to dissolve it, break it down, and restart, and that can happen. And you know, I wouldn't even say that was like bad filler done, I just think it's just time. But now, I mean, I feel like my hollowing's pretty good. I mean, I'm almost 40, so. A lot of people, if you have dark circles, you typically have like 2 of the 4 of those things, so it's not just like you can use one treatment and solve everything. Okay, and let's talk about acne scarring on the skin, and if the skin is just not like healing from those post-acne marks. There's something called PIE and there's something called PIH. PIE is post-inflammatory erythema. This is different than post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, because erythema is red and there's a vascular component. Post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation is like more brown, and so you can tell the difference if you have an acne mark that's lingering. You can press on it, and if the redness goes away, or if the mark goes away, that's likely PIE, and that's more of an inflammatory situation than a pigment situation. The way you're going to treat post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation is similar to what I mentioned before of how you would treat dark spots. The way you're going to treat PIE, post-inflammatory erythema, is obviously you need your daily SPF, you need gentle skincare. You're not going to like, it's just time, honestly, it's time that's going to help it to go away. Now, if it's scarring, like pitted scarring, That is more of an office treatment where you can get microneedling or deep laser treatments, and then depending on the scarring, something that's really impactful. I've struggled with acne my entire life. It's kind of what got me interested in skincare in the first place, like back in my teens. People who like have had skin issues, like we're focused on the skin for years and years. If you've never had skin issues, you're like, you don't think about your skin until you start seeing like something go awry. Okay, there's something called subcision, and I've had it done in a couple places, and honestly, it's like, can't really even see anymore. But okay, subcision is something where you get a needle, a provider does this. Scarring is fibrotic, it's like tough, and it can pull back into the skin. Scarred skin is like damaged skin, and you're trying to like really like reset that skin. So subcision is going in with a needle and like breaking up some of that and releasing some of that scar tissue. It is powerful, and it like can look so good. So if that's something that you have, ask your provider about that, because it's like can be really powerful for these like scarred areas. But for pigment, that's more of like time and consistency with skincare. So the way that this all connects is truly through inflammation, and that's why getting control of the inflammation, calming the skin is like priority number one, because inflammation is going to cause barrier issues, which is going to cause pigmentation or sensitivity or reacting skin. It's going to cause slower healing, and it's going to cause accelerated skin aging. So it all goes back to get the skin healthy, get the skin functioning optimally first. It goes back to the core four. You cannot treat the skin, you cannot correct the skin until the skin is healthy and functioning optimally. So even though you're bothered by potentially your pigment, it doesn't matter. I'm not saying your pigment doesn't matter, but I'm saying like you're not going to be able to effectively treat it until you reset the skin and make sure it's functioning optimally. Inflammation, and especially low grade, can be tricky, but if you're not sure, just give your skin a reset. It's a really simple test. So cut back everything, use a gentle cleanser. You can use a product like Overachiever, which I love, to help strengthen the skin, and then a moisturizer and an SPF. Just use those. Do that for 2 weeks. See if you're noticing any changes in your skin, and then you can gradually reintroduce the products. It's totally fine to give the skin a reset, and if you're not sure, it's actually kind of a nice thing to do, just to like see where your skin's at. Because truly, like, having good, healthy skin is not about doing more. It's about doing the right things consistently. Cheers to good skin. Thank you so much for joining. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop them below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next week.